It is Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head over to youtube.com. Find Locked On Sports Atlanta in your browser. When you find our page, subscribe to it. Hit that button there. Leave us a comment about what we're talking about. Also, we are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Odyssey, whichever you prefer. And you can leave us a 5-star review. Would be greatly appreciated. Follow me, if you would, please, on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. I am loving this, and I'm going to refer to it as I'm a wrestling fan, as you can see, okay? And one of the superstars in the WWE right now, her name is Liv Morgan, okay? So I'm having to set up and give you some context. Whatever. I'm going to call it the Liv Morgan tournament because I don't know what the hell they want to call it, nowadays. So the PGA yesterday, the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan, the commissioner, put out a statement that was headed to tour members, and he listed by name, but he says that simultaneous to you receiving this memo, the players listed below are being notified that they are suspended or otherwise no longer eligible to participate in PGA Tour tournament play, including the President's Cup. And he goes on to talk about the different tours and stuff like that they're also not allowed in as well. As you know, players listed below did not receive the necessary conflicting event and media rights releases or did not apply for releases at all. And their participation in the Saudi Golf League, the Liv Morgan golf event, is in violation of our tournament regulations. The same fate holds true for any other players who participate in future Saudi Golf League events in violation of our regulations. Now, if you're not familiar, this Liv Morgan tournament is the Saudi-backed tournament. They're playing in London this weekend, right? It's headed by Greg Norman, and it's supposed to be the alternative to the PGA Tour. And it's an 8-week event. They got 54 holes that you play, but guys are going over there because they're paying gazillions of dollars. Now, they listed all the guys on this list. Sergio Garcia, I'll give you the names of note. Sergio Garcia, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Charles Schwartzel, and Lee Westwood, and Dustin Johnson as well. Those are the guys of note and merit, okay? And they say on this release, too, you probably have more questions. What's next? Can these players come back and they eventually play PGA Tour champions? Trust that we've prepared to deal with these questions, and we'll approach them in the same way we have this entire process, by being transparent and respecting the PGA Tour regulations that you helped establish. Now, we sort of knew that this was coming, right? So yesterday, the Liv Morgan Golf Tournament put out their response. Quote, today's announcement by the PGA Tour is vindictive, and it deepens the divide between the tour and its members. It's troubling that the tour, an organization dedicated to creating opportunities for golfers to play the game, is the entity blocking golfers from playing. This certainly is not the last word on this topic. The era of free agency is beginning, as we're proud to have a full field of players joining us in London and beyond. Okay, first off, who's blocking them from playing? I'm on the PGA Tour's side of this. You have rules, you know what they are. You can't just leave the tournament and go for a cash grab, because let's call it like it is. Okay. Phil Mickelson, the biggest phony in the world, phony Phil. Oh, Saudi Arabia is bad. They cut off the heads of journalists and blah, 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 right? It was all big balls Willie a few weeks ago, month ago, whatever, in his statements and all that kind of stuff about Saudi Arabia. Then what's he do? He goes and takes the money and runs. So this is all a cash grab, and I'm not mad at that. And the players have the ability. But like everything else in life, in every decision that you make in life, there are always, and I mean always, unintended consequences. The unintended consequence, if you decide to go play in this Liv Morgan tournament or whatever it is, okay, is you're going to lose your chance to be in the PGA Tour events. You're going to lose your FedEx points, and you're not going to be recognized. That's not vindictive. That's the rules. And those guys knew that going in, but you know what they said? The hell with that. DeChambeau and all, I saw DeChambeau yesterday lost a sponsor for it. These guys knew going in that you take this cash grab from these people, you're going to have ramifications that you may not like. You know what? Screw it. We want the money. Fine. And now the Liv Morgan tournament is, oh, it's vindictive and they're not letting them play. They're letting them play. You're playing this weekend. You're getting your $100 million for the next 8 weeks to play in these fakakta tournaments in London and here and there and Bangladesh and wherever, in Egypt and wherever the hell they're going to play all these tournaments at. Nobody's saying you can't go. But if you go, this is what comes with it. And those guys made their choice. And those guys, don't miss me with those guys didn't know or understand what was going to happen. I'm sitting here in Atlanta, a ham and egger jabron, okay? I'm just sitting here, and I knew what was going to happen. I'm one of the humanoids out here in the audience that knew what was going to happen, that the PGA Tour wasn't just going to sit by and say, oh, go have your fun. The USGA is a little different entity, but the PGA Tour wasn't going to say, hey, just go have your fun. Screw us. Screw our tournaments. Go have your fun and go to London and go to Bangladesh and go to Europe and go to Lebanon or wherever the hell you're going to play and just do whatever you want. Unintended consequences. And that's what these guys are facing. Now, they probably don't, a lot of these guys probably don't care. And can I tell you, I'll go ahead and say it. Sergio Garcia is on this list. Can I tell you, this may be one of the best things that ever happened. Because if I never have to watch Sergio Garcia on another PGA Tour event, it will be too soon in my lifetime. F you, Sergio. I don't like Sergio. I think he's a punk. I think he's a goofball. His whole history that he's got. I can give you 10 different times. We talked about Sergio Garcia about a month or so ago, right? And his little spat, and I can't wait to get off this tour. Well, guess what? We can't wait for you to leave. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Hasta lasagna, don't get any on ya. So I'm fully with the PGA on this. Hey, go have your fun. Do your thing. Guess what? Your FedEx points, gone. Oh, you think you're just going to show up when you want? Unintended consequences. These guys, for one reason and one reason only. Let me repeat. Make sure you're tuned in and listening really well. For one reason and one reason only. They took the cash. They made their cash grab. I ain't mad at it. You have to make your money. You have to set your next 15 generations of family up, but you can miss me with they're not having opportunity and they're vindictive and all this kind of stuff. If you get into bed with certain people, you might end up with some fleas and bed bugs in it. And some of these guys are going to find that out. Some guys won't care. $100 million for 8 weeks. Hey, man, sign me up. Let me have all of this. But every decision you make has unintended consequences. And I am glad that the PGA Tour fired back and said, you know what? You guys aren't just going to go do what you want when you want and just leave us high and dry. All right, we thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen. Don't forget, make A to Z with Mark Zinno your second listen every day, as Mark is back giving his opinions that you may not like, but you got to hear them. So you can find him free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Download today, A to Z with Mark Zinno. You can also find him on our YouTube page. That is Locked On Sports Atlanta. Put that in your YouTube browser. Subscribe. Tell us what you think about the shows that we've got going on. And as I always ask, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We will be back with you on Monday. This has been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.